Hello, happy Sunday evening. If we haven't met before, my name is Kay, and this is our weekly live meditation class on Sunday nights. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please do take a moment to hit the subscribe button along with the bell next to it to be alerted about the next time we're offering one of these next week or about videos that I upload and post. So as I was reflecting this week on what I wanted to talk about and work on tonight in class, I was thinking about the fact that I think for many of us, we deal with uncomfortable feelings of rage, anger, hurt, hate. Sometimes, right? That's a really strong word. I remember growing up and hearing my dad say to me, "Don't ever hate anyone. Don't hate. That's a horrible word." But we do hate people and things and situations. That is an experience we do feel from time to time. Someone tagged me on Facebook recently where they said, "Oh, look at all these people we went to high school with. It's been 20 years since we first met each other." And I saw one photo of somebody, and like I haven't interacted with this person since we graduated in 2005, which I guess is a while back now. But like I could immediately feel those feelings I felt as a teenager of loathing and hatred and feeling like, God, this person really hurt me. And realizing that's so stupid. I mean, I don't even know the guy. I'm sure he's an absolutely lovely human being. I hope that he's having a fabulous life. And I really don't in any way hate him. But I had those old flashes of memory of what I felt back then come up. And then, of course, since then, right, there's been people that have really made my life significantly less than comfortable, or I should say my reaction to those people made my life not as comfortable as it could have been. But hate, if you're like me, where you've experienced it, it's like a fire that burns through your body, where you literally feel like you are burning up with rage and animosity. And, you know, there are some people who believe that hate is justified when you witness atrocities like genocide or people being tortured or being abused, that hate is an appropriate emotion. And we'll get to that later. But I've definitely felt hate in tremendous quantities. And I'd say that the strongest form of adult hate that I found and felt was with the people, one person in particular, two people in particular, who ran the ashram that I was a part of and abused me. I didn't realize how much I was being psychologically and emotionally abused for years. How I was being taken advantage of financially and my life force. I gave the ashram all my free time. I gave them most of my early adult life, all of my 20s I gave to them. And then was unceremoniously thrown out for nothing I did that was wrong. Having spent a lot of time reflecting on it, nothing I did was wrong. I was trying to protect somebody who was being abused themselves. And was cut off from my spiritual family, many of my best friends in the world, hundreds of people that I cared about, a community. My whole world was based around my spiritual community that I was a part of at that time. And in the years following, I felt rage and hate because I was treated like shit, like I was taken advantage of and hurt in a way that, you think when you reach an adult age that you have a certain level of capacity of recognizing abuse, recognizing trauma, and removing yourself from it. But I didn't. And so it was an emotion that I dealt with for a lot of my 20s and into my 30s. So hate is a familiar feeling for me. If you're experiencing hate, I may not know the specifics of what you're going through, but let's just say I've walked similar roads and can empathize. But hate, ultimately, in my opinion, doesn't do the body good I don't think that it's a helpful emotion for us. I think that a lot of my issues that I deal with in my life regarding physical limitations because of, my body not doing what I would like it to do stem from years of experiencing hatred and anger. There is a parable, I believe it's a Buddha quote, of this idea of picking up a red hot coal with the intent of hurling it at someone else to hurt them. But you're the person who gets burned in the process, far more so. You can also look at neo-pagan or Wiccan traditions where they talk about using black magic to curse someone, that if you really want to send somebody a curse, the effects of that curse comes back sevenfold at you. That these destructive, fiery emotions do more damage to ourselves than we ever do to someone else. And even in those instances where you feel like hate is appropriate, right? Abuse, neglect, genocide, I hear it, I understand that those feelings are valid. But answer me this, if you're being honest with yourself. How often has coming from a place of rage actually led to positive, productive change? I'm gonna be real with myself, never. Never in moments where have I been experiencing intense emotion and tried to take action has the outcome been excellent. At the best, it's been fair. It's been a mixed bag. But when I've come from a place of acceptance, kindness, love, compassion, even for those difficult situations and people, when I've done my own healing work and worked through my rage, my anger, my hatred, my fear, and come to a place of acceptance and healing and light and love, then when I go into approach a situation and work for betterment, it always turns out better. So I think working with hate is a very important thing to do. And I personally believe that transmuting hatred, breaking it down, and then loving those who have hurt us is one of the most profound things we can do for our own well-being, and also to benefit the planet, to benefit our society and the world. That when we can genuinely come to somebody who spit at us, slapped us, scorned us, hurt us, and come with openness, surrender, kindness, and yes, even love, then true healing is possible. And true growth, true magic is possible. And maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you think, no way, I'm never going to love the people that have hurt me, and I'm going to carry my rage forward. I hear you. You are totally justified in your feelings. But I'm just going to ask that you approach this evening with an open heart, open ears, and maybe open up to a different perspective, whether or not you want to take it in and on for yourself. Sound good? All right. So let's dive in. I want you to find a meditative posture, whether that's sitting upright, relaxing in a chair, or even laying down is totally fine. And I'd like for you to watch yourself breathe. Feel the in and out of your breath. Notice how you're breathing. Notice if you feel your shoulders moving, your rib cage, your belly. Hey Steve, welcome. I know I owe you a phone call. Thanks for being here. Feel your shoulders relax, your jaw relax. Your face relax as best as you can. And I want you to bring your focus down to your gut, to your belly, your abdomen. And if us talking about hate and rage and anger resonated with you, you probably felt something down here start to knot itself up. The belly is the seat of fire in the body. And so once we're experiencing a fiery emotion, like hatred, rage, it's typically expressed, at first at least, in the seat of that emotion. So notice if the seat of fire, the belly, notice if you feel any sort of feelings or emotions there. Notice if you feel any sort of constriction, tightness. And whatever you're feeling, I want you to breathe deep into the abdomen. Really feel like the life force you pull in on your inhale comes down into the belly and spreads out there. Let every inhale, notice the temperature, notice how cool it feels as it comes through your nostrils. Let it be a cleansing breath down into the seat of fire, into the belly, and invite it to open. So you may know in my work and in my life, I really don't try to ever say something's good or bad, right? Everything is what it is, and even the uncomfortable stuff can provide benefit, and even the beautiful, radiant stuff can cause us discomfort. So I don't want you to think about this as being something bad inside of you. What I would like for you to think of it as being is constricted. That all events, all people, all beings are made up of the same atoms, the same energy, the same vibration, made up of the same consciousness. But some of us at different times or different stages in our life are more constricted or more open. And the more expansive, more open we become, the more we move into a joyful, loving, compassionate, and enlightened state of being. So it's not better or worse. It's just tight and compact or open and flowing. And so I want you to invite whatever sort of restriction you feel here in your gut. I want you to feel a sense of letting it open and unfold. I want you to feel like your waistline is growing. I know it's not a feeling we normally want, right? But in this moment, we feel ourselves spreading out. Feel any tightness, any knots, any blocks down here. Feel the cool air of the inhale, start to release them, start to mellow them out. No matter how much work you've done on this, I promise there's still more work to do. Right? We can always clean house a little bit better. And find a sense of ease with your breath and with your belly. Just to sit here and work with the fiery knots in our gut can be a profound meditation. I thoroughly encourage you to spend a few hours, a few days, a few lifetimes just working that through. But I want to take another step with this work tonight. And I want you to bring to mind somebody for whom you experience the emotion of hatred. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a stranger, maybe it's a former friend, or possibly even a current friend. Maybe it's an ex, maybe it's an animal, maybe it's a disembodied spirit who came and stole your childhood toy. I don't know. But picture something for whom you feel a level of animosity, hate, rage. Bring them to mind. And as you do, notice what is the emotion that you feel? What is the experience of your body? Do you notice yourself moving into contraction? Do you notice yourself pulling in? Don't try to change it right now, just observe. Do you notice your mind creating a litany of ills? Do you see your mind creating a long list of poor actions they made and how justified you are for how they hurt you and your rage that you feel? And I invite you to just witness. I invite you to just sit here and watch your response. And again, we're not trying to change it right now. We're just sitting with it. And if your response is intense, if you feel deeply uncomfortable revisiting this point of trauma, I would like to remind you that you are stronger now than you were then, that you have more awareness and more agency now than you did then, that you have a deeper self-respect, a deeper practice for self-care and self-reflection than you did then, and you are not as vulnerable. So sit with your rage and just notice it. Just notice how you feel. And it may be helpful, if you feel so called, to just envision this person before you and speak to them your wrongs if you want. You don't have to. But I know in my healing journey, there was a point where I found that helpful. So you might say to them, wow, you really hurt me. You acted like shit. You did stuff that was not very kind, and I feel really bad. But maybe you don't need to do that. It's okay if you do. It's okay if you don't. What instead I would like for you to do is take a deep breath now into your heart, into the center of our chest where our soul lives, our consciousness, as well as it being the seat of compassion and love and connection. And I want you to try and breathe into the experience of yourself. Breathe into that which is whole and healed and healthy and enlightened. And breathe into that space. You know where it is. Deep within the heart. And as you breathe into that experience of self, notice the feeling of love that emerges. Notice that when you connect with you, the experience is of cosmic, radiant, unending love. And notice how everything that you are, everything you've been, everywhere you've gone, has contributed to this journey home to yourself. That you are where you are today because of the paths you've trod, the places you've gone, and the people with whom you've interacted, including the ones that were very unsavory or uncomfortable. And as you experience that sensation of burgeoning love, blooming love, growing love in your heart, I want you to, with grace, with patience, with maybe a little bit of effort, extend it to that person you envisioned in front of you. They were part of your journey too. They are part of why you are who you are today. And they taught you valuable lessons. They may not have been lessons that you wanted to have, but they are lessons that you have already paid for. Someone asked, is self-hatred in the heart? No, you can experience a sense of self-hatred around the heart, but once you actually go through it and into the depths, that does not exist there. Self-hatred is more of an aspect of the mind, because once you connect with the radiant soul stuff within, you move past the mind and past those border emotions and into a state that is pure consciousness, love, and peace and joy. So good question, though. So feeling that sense of love inside of you, extending it to that person because they are part of who you are. And they taught you something valuable. They maybe taught you your own resilience. They maybe taught you how to better protect yourself in the future. They maybe taught you how to forgive. They maybe taught you how not to put yourself in bad situations. But you got something from that experience. Can you love them for that? Because they taught you a valuable lesson. They were a strong teacher. Can you feel love for them because they are suffering? Here's the fun fact. People do not hurt other people unless they are in pain themselves. How many, tell me if I'm wrong, raise your hand, or I can't see you, but you can raise your hand for yourself in your bedroom. Raise your hand if you've ever woken up and be like, gosh, I am feeling good today, my body's great, I feel empowered, I feel like I can take on the world. You know what sounds good? Let's go torture someone. That's not usually how it works. Usually we are in tremendous pain and we lash out. And we either try to mitigate that pain by sharing it, or we don't even realize that we're hurting somebody else because we're in so much pain. When we are in a negative state, that's when we tend to hurt other people. If we're really positive and happy, healthy, healed, enjoying life, we're usually pretty good to be around. So love this person because they maybe hurt you and you have hatred for their actions and who they've been, but love the fact that they are suffering. Love them for their own struggles, even if you don't want to admit it, they're suffering. And I think our role as sentient creatures who are on a spiritual path is to do what we can to ease the suffering of others. Whether they're kind to us, whether they thank us, whether they appreciate it, but we do our part to make the world a little bit better. So see if you can feel a little bit of love for them for that. Maybe you just feel love for them because they exist, and that each sentient creature is worthy of love. Every sentient creature. The cockroaches are worthy of love. Murderers are worthy of love. Mothers are worthy of love. Boyfriends and ex-boyfriends are worthy of love. Every sentient being is worthy of love. So even if it's just you exist, you're worthy of love. Cool. I've been reading a little bit lately about psychedelics since I had my ayahuasca and San Pedro journey down in Ecuador. And one of the most commonly reported effects of exploring psychedelics is this understanding of the profundity of love as a tangible force in the universe. That ultimately love is something we feel and something that can transcend time and space. And when I was walking up a mountain while exploring the plant medicine of Father San Pedro, I felt my connection with the people I mentioned before, these people at the ashram who tremendously hurt me, the guru and his wife, and then the woman who ran the smaller ashram I lived at in Chicago. And I felt the hatred I felt for them. And I started to laugh because I thought, God, actually, I am so fucking grateful for all these moments that I now have hatred for, because it's made me who I am. I learned so much. And you fucking me over and throwing me away was exactly what I needed to spread my spiritual wings and my personal power wings. I am so grateful you did that to me, because it launched me on a journey that led to an experience of enlightenment, an experience of knowing my true self, an experience of knowing my purpose in this world. I would have never, or unlikely, have had those experiences had I stayed in that same relationship with you, had I stayed in the place I was, and that my hate for you is stupid. There were a lot of good memories before this happened. I'm grateful for those. I'm grateful for the absolutely shitty memories and the years of abuse, because it made me who I am now that I'm on the other side, now that I've been on my healing journey for years. So thank you. And I watched my hatred blow away like dark smoke, and in its place was overpowering love for them. Because even in their unkindness, even in their overt cruelty, I learned and grew and became immensely blessed. I feel love for them. Are there moments where I feel maybe flashes or tinges of the old feeling? A little bit. Rarely. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest, there was a point where I was like, I'm gonna create a fake email address, I'm gonna start spamming them with hateful mail, I'm gonna post on all their social media and all their Yelp reviews and be like, these people are in a cult, they're abusive, run away. I was like gonna send them letters anonymously, like in the mail. I was ready to be like, pfft. I would have visions of like, I was traveling all the time for work, so I had visions of like running into one of them at the airport and like punching them in the face because of what they did to me. Like, my level of animosity was quite high for some time. And genuinely now I feel like if I met any of them, I would probably go give them a big hug and thank them. Because God, they helped me grow. They didn't mean to, but they helped me grow. And I'm so fucking grateful. And I love them. All the people that hurt me, I love them. Those kids who tortured me relentlessly through middle school and for years, that made me cry every day. Thank you. You taught me compassion. You taught me humility. You taught me respect for all beings. Thank you. I love you. For those exes who made me feel like shit. Thank you. I'm grateful. I love you. For those casting directors and manipulative people when I worked in the arts who, girl, I remember one time I got this letter from someone, I'm not even going to go into it, but it was a casting director at a major theater company who, like, I can't believe anyone would even write this. Like, oh, how dare you even say this to somebody? Like, I raged for years about that letter I got. Thank you. I love you. Because again, holding on to rage, holding into anger hurts you. You're going to be in poor health, poor mental capacity, poor joy because of the rage you hold. And when you can transmute that rage to love and you dwell in love, amen, when you dwell in love, your life becomes magical. And I don't know about you, I don't know what goals you have for yourself, but my goal for myself is to be a person who dwells in peace at all times, regardless of what's going on out here. My goal is to be somebody who dwells in joy, regardless of what's going on out here. Somebody that's humble and quiet and grounded and wise and filled with ecstasy. And most of all, filled beyond my skin with love. I want to love everyone, whether they think they deserve it or not, whether or not they're kind, whether or not they treat me with respect or people I know with respect. My goal is to be somebody who dwells and lives in love. And maybe your goals are different than mine. Maybe you just want to be a rock star, and by all means, more power to you. Get it. But for me, love is my objective. And, I was raised Christian, and I remember for a long time I had a very difficult reaction to the idea of turn the other cheek, that, if someone slaps you, just give them their other cheek to slap. And while I definitely believe that, we should protect ourselves and protect people we love and don't seek out being hurt or danger and don't, let ourselves be abused, there is an element of when somebody hurts you, accepting and saying thank you for my lesson and loving them. It's a very challenging, or I should say adept spiritual practice. It's not one that we all, I think, start off life feeling, but it's worth it. So I invite you to close your eyes, breathe into your heart, and feel love. You are love. Let that love fill you. Let love radiate through you. And let yourself experience your power, your strength, your radiance. And when you feel a block, breathe into it, let it dissolve. And someone just asked, why should you meditate on people you hate? Yeah, generally don't recommend it. I don't generally think, oh, I'm going to meditate today. Let me think of the people I dislike. But I promise, they live in your psyche, they live in the corners of your mind, so they will come up from time to time. And there can be instances of value in meditating on things that are difficult. It's a traditional meditation practice to meditate on your corpse, to meditate on your dead, decaying body. Right? So you start to work through those feelings of loss and death. It can be beneficial to meditate on your feelings of sorrow and sadness. It can be benefit to meditate on the feelings of hate because it gives you an opportunity to work through it. Right? This space, this meditation space, this sacred space, this is our training ground for life. This is our arena where we go to fight and practice and slay our dragons. So sometimes that means battling the monsters, those hard ones. Sometimes it means dancing ecstatically and focusing on the light. But I'm a big believer that we can only experience joy to the depth we have experienced sorrow. That we can only celebrate in the light as much as we've celebrated in the lack of light, in the shadow. And so to know your strength, to know your power as a human and as a meditator and a spiritual being, you need to know the depths of your sorrow. So yes, sometimes we do need to meditate on our hatred and those who have affected us and work to heal and grow. That's part of our work. I offer you blessings. May you be blessed. May you be whole. May you be filled with love and joy and ecstatic wild energy. May you be filled with love. May you be filled with forgiveness and peace. May you flow like the river over rocks, not get dammed up, but just flow through and around, burbling as you go. May you be a carrier of peace, that everywhere you go you spread peace like a virus. May you spread joy as a virus. May you be surrounded by love and protection. May you know your worth. May you know your power. May you know your ecstatic divine self that dances within. May you dwell in love and be loved by others. May you be cherished. May you cherish others and let them know their own radiance. May you dance wild, naked, under a full moon in front of a silvery pond and know that you are so much more than just this mind or this moment. May you know that you are divinity made flesh. May you know that you are starlight wrapped in skin. May you know your worth. May you know your power and your joy. May you know the depth of your sorrow, and through your sorrow, your sacred self. May you be blessed beyond measure. This is my blessing for you. I hope this practice is useful for you. I hope that you, as you journey forward, are able to share love and forgiveness and pass this forward. Maybe teach somebody else how they can process their hatred. Because we live in a time where there's a lot to be angry about. Thank you. There's a lot of hatred in our country and the politics going on in other countries. There's a lot of fear, a lot of war, a lot of famine, a lot of natural disasters. But if we can dwell in love, we can turn the world we live in into a heaven, into an Eden, into a magical place. So it starts with us. So do the good work and carry on, pass it forward. Someone just asked, couldn't access my website, ecstaticself.com. I'll go check. I think it's still working. Yes, in Meta, thank you. But if ever you need anything, please feel free to reach out. I'm always available via email, through my website, through social media. And if ever you need anything, know I'm here. And if doing this kind of work is meaningful for you, do keep in mind that I work with people one-on-one on a long-term basis to help them grow and evolve. So thank you so much for being here. Many love and blessings to you. Have a fabulous week. I'm really excited for my video that I'm going to be posting this week. It is a long one, and it is one of my absolute favorites, so stay tuned for that this week. And if you haven't yet, check out Patreon. I just launched a Patreon 2 weeks ago, so a way to take this work and do it with a community of people where you can collaborate and we can go a little bit deeper and work on weekly ideas. So check out patreon.com/ecstatic self. I'd love to see you there and be more active in your journey. Thank you all for taking time out of your Sunday evening. I know you're all busy. It's a pleasure to share space and time with you and know that even though we may not be in the same room, space and time are but illusions. So we are sharing space together. You are here with me. So have a wonderful night. Hugs and kisses. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Thanks for being here. Thank you, guys.